everybody, and welcome here as we prepare for our 12th race of the season of the NCRA Pizza Hut X Series Season 2. We're getting set to go racing here at the short track of Richmond. And if we've got any indication of what to expect this race weekend, well, just look at last night's race in the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race, where pretty much the entire race was under caution. 20-lap event, and 5 caution flags came out during the course of that evening. We were able to finish the race. Well, actually, it wasn't even under green. We finished it under caution, but we were able to at least race the final lap, not under pacing, but at full speed. It was a photo finish. It was a great finish, a great race, I guess, as far as racing at the front, but we spent so much time under caution, it kind of took away from, what drivers could possibly bring to the table in terms of green flag racing. Maybe tonight will be different, but not really expecting that much difference, not only tonight, but also in tomorrow night's Hershey's Cup Series main event. We'll see what happens, though, as it's going to be Kyle Thomas starting on the pole for this one alongside of Tony Green. Kyle Thomas coming into this race, obviously trying to get his season turned around, 32nd in the point standings, looking for his first win of the season. Same for Tony Green, looking for his first win of the season, although he's a little bit better situated in the point standings, 10th in the standings, coming into tonight's race. We will give you the point standings in just a moment coming into this race, but of course we should point out that these drivers are not racing for a spot in the All-Star race like the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter and Hershey's Cup Series main event races this weekend. We should just point that out ahead of time before we get down into the details of this evening's event. 20 laps of racing, so it will be split into 3 stages. First stage will end at the completion of lap 6. Second stage ends at the completion of lap 12. Final stage will be 8 laps. Completion of the checkered flag at lap 20 is the end of stage 3. Let's get the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And what a difference a couple of weeks make. I mean, beginning of the season, it was looking like, my goodness, nobody's going to be able to catch Jesse Turner. He just kept growing and growing his points lead. Things have gone majorly south for that 39 team in the last few weeks, though. He has dropped so far down as far as finishes are concerned. He is only now 29 points ahead of second in the standings, 2-time winner J Gilbert. Benny Watson, his teammate, is third in points, 38 points back. J Shelly is 4th in the standings with J Merrick Jr. in 5th. Eli Bright 6th after his win last week at Dover. A Garcia has now jumped up to 7th. Jordan Lopes is 8th. 9th place is M Pontzer, and Tony Green completes top 10. Kind of interesting. We talk about how wins are so important in a series like this. Well, just to give you an example, out of the 10 drivers in the top 10 of the point standings coming into this race, 6 of them are winners this season. Green flag is out. We're underway here at Richmond. Let's see if we're going to be able to get some green flag racing in, or will we be spending most of this race under the caution flag? And only 41 cars crossed the line. Trouble for Jordan Lopes early in the 51, who came into this race 8th in the standings, former winner this season. It says he did not take the green flag. And there he is, sitting on pit road. So a tough break there for Lopes to start out this one. And we completed a green flag lap. Kyle Thomas out in front. J Zoerlein going to move into second. Zoerlein, I guess, likes Richmond. He finished very well here last night in the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race. We'll see him tomorrow night in the Hershey's Cup Series main event. And now the caution is out. So we got 1 lap in under green, and it looks like a wreck on the front straightaway. Pretty big wreck, too, from the size of the skid marks. Whoa, boy. Yikes. Slow down. That is Colby Jackson, James Richardson, and, believe it or not, the points leader Jesse Turner involved in this one. So the bad luck continues for the 39 car, and I believe Colby Jackson's still on the lead lap. He's got to get by Zoerlein and Kyle Thomas. Caution came out, and he was already past the start-finish line, so they're going to have to let that 33 by, and now he will go by. So he's still on the lead lap. Hopefully he doesn't get a commitment cone violation for that, but we're under caution for the first time here tonight. Not surprised it comes out here in the early stages, and we will take a look back at what happened. It's like maybe a pretty big wreck taking place in the front straightaway. And this one actually started with last week's winner, A Garcia. There you see some contact. That's R Brommer turning the 12 of Matthew Daleo down into Garcia. Up into the wall goes the 9. And everybody's just stacked up on the high side. Nowhere for Baranauskas to go. Get some damage there in the 2. Get some more damage right there. And then here comes everyone flying in. Charlie Buxton, a huge hit right there into the 2-car. Oh, man. Elijah Gilbert jacked up into the air by his teammate Seth Cole. Garcia flips over. Eli Bright, Kyle Lynch, Christian Merrick Jr., Matt McIntire involved. Alexander Rowe, I think, got a piece of it. Look at the 9-car still up and on his roof. Michael Haas got some damage in the 19. Get Stuart Grattan going down towards the grass to try and avoid, and I don't know if he makes contact with Eli Bright or not. But second in the points, Elijah Gilbert gets involved. He got nailed from behind by his teammate Seth Cole, and from the look of it, it looks like we were talking about Richardson, Jackson, and Jesse Turner there at the back. I don't think they got involved in the wreck. They just got slowed up. They had to wait for everybody to get going. Chris Dollerton does a nice job avoiding too. Christian Merrick Jr.'s car comes to a halt. I think his night might be over. That's 5th in the standings. And Ace Garcia, who is now 7th in the points coming into this race after his win last week at Dover, it's like his evening is over early as well. Tough break there. A wild ride for our first caution of the evening here at a short track of all places at Richmond. So the night ends early for a number of drivers, as Elijah Gilbert, second in points, he's out of the race, as well as Charlie Buxton, Seth Cole, A Baranauskas, last week's winner Ace Garcia out of the race, as well as Christian Merrick Jr. Jordan Lopez also apparently is out of the race, did not even complete a lap, mechanical issues for the 51. So 4 drivers coming into this race in the top 10 in points are out of it, just like that. Eli Bright will line up on the inside line 1 lap down. That's 6th in points as the green flag is back out, with Kyle Thomas showing the way. So Richmond definitely playing its part into the final race of the first half of the regular season, no doubt about that. And one driver that may benefit from what's going on tonight, I can't believe I'm saying this, is Jesse Turner, even though he's way at the back of the pack. Got to try and find some way to pick up some points, get somewhat decent finish. There's still about, 12 laps to go, so there's still plenty of time to be able to work his way at least towards the top 10. And since we end up running, I believe that completion of stage 1 under the caution, you saw earlier that Kyle Thomas was the winner of stage 1. He may be the winner of stage 2, which completes on lap 12 because the caution is out again for the second time here this evening. Kyle Thomas, we talked about a driver that really needs a good run here tonight. 31st in the points coming into this race, make that 32nd. And these cautions right now being his best friend. Looks like an incident this time on the back straightaway heading down towards turn 3. Someone hit that inside safer barrier according to the path of those skid marks. So let's take a look at a replay of what happened now for our second caution of the evening. And apparently Jonathan Zoerlein, Zoerlein did cross the line ahead of Daniel Voyles in second place, so he is getting his spot back. So Kyle Thomas leads at our second caution. Let's see what happened. This wasn't too far back outside the top 10. Matter of fact, this might have been a battle somewhere between 11th and 15th. Julio Cesar runs an extremely high line through 1 and 2. John Gilbert is to his inside, and Gilbert never really lifts. Gilbert got much better exit off the corner and just gets into the left rear. Never lifted to get off of Julio Cesar. And Benny Watson, third in the point stand, is going to get involved here as well as he gets kind of side-swiped. Cesar's going to hit driver's side first into that safer barrier. Benny Watson's going to go down. He's going to hit passenger side right there. Fortunately, that's where the safer barrier is. Fortunately, he didn't hit that opening. Paul Minnick does a nice job keeping his car to the high side and not run into the back of Cesar. And it was just a 2-car incident, it looks like, there on the back straightaway. Well, 3 if you count the 22 of John Gilbert. But certainly not quite the volatile situation we had for our first caution, but brings us under the yellow flag nonetheless. So let's go back green. Nobody out of the race after that incident. However, Julio Cesar did spend enough time on pit road that he has now fallen a lap down to the race leaders. But it will be a single file restart since there is less than 10 to go. It'll actually be 6 to go when they hit the stripe. This time by Kyle Thomas shows the way. Jonathan Zoerlein second. Voyles in third. Deaver is in fourth, with Joseph Romero running in fifth. James Shelly, Noah Pontzer, Nick Johnson, Ryan Brommer, and Tony Green will complete the top 10. I've just been handed a notice that tomorrow night's race for the Hershey's Cup Series main event will be caution-free. Not without incident, but caution-free. That is going to be one crazy event, and they have upped it to a 60-lap race rather than 40 what it was originally supposed to be. Green flag back out, so you'll want to tune into that race. As Kyle Thomas gets us back underway, and here comes his first challenge potentially for the lead here tonight. Zoerlein puts it down to the bottom. Thomas throws the block. He nearly got himself spun off the nose of the Fast & Ford Mustang. That was a risky move, and now Daniel Voyles is going to go for second off of Zoerlein. He'll take it out of turn 4. That alleviates the pressure, at least for the moment, for Kyle Thomas. 5 laps to go. Here comes Voyles. Looking to the bottom for the race lead into turn 1. Will Thomas try and throw the block again? He can't do it. Voyles will take the race lead. And now Thomas slides back into a position he hasn't been in all night. Second place, trying to chase back down the race leader. And the caution flag is out, and that may do it. That may have been the pass for the win this evening. Daniel Voyles taking the caution with 4 laps to go. Now, we ended up having the caution come out with 6 to go in last night's Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race. We were able to get back green for a 1-lap shootout. With that being said, I think this race now will be ending under caution here this evening for the Pizza Hut X Series. Talk about timing your move right. Daniel Voyles decided now was the time to make the move on Kyle Thomas, and I believe that has just gained him his first win of the season in the Pizza Hut X Series. Voyles, who did not have a good run last week at Dover, he dropped outside the top 10, down to 13th in points. This win tonight will more than likely move him back up into the top 10 in the point standings. Kyle Thomas, a heartbreak there, dominated this race for most of it and then gave up the lead at the worst possible time. Looks like he'll finish second with Zoerlein in third, Deaver in fourth, and J Romero in fifth. We'll jump back, look at a replay, what puts under the caution for the final time here this evening at Richmond. Well, N Pontzer and Tony Green had both restarted in the top 10 on that last restart, but they got held up behind the slower lap machine of Eli Bright. And it looks like Tony Green was finally having enough of getting stuck behind there. He says, well, if you're not going to make a new move, Noah, I'm going to make a move. Well, actually, Noah was trying to make a move there. He tried to get to the inside of Eli Bright, and Tony Green wouldn't get off his back bumper. Hooks the 28 around, and Eli's trying to save it, trying to save it, and finally right here, I think he's going to get a little bit of extra help from the 85, which finally spins him around, and that's what ended up bringing out the caution. Colby Jackson gets a piece of it right there as he runs into the back of Tony Green. Here comes Kyle Lynch, never slowed down, and clobbers Pontzer. And then Julio Cesar, the lap machine there in the 87, also going to get a piece of that as well. So Kyle Lynch, it's another driver that comes into this race running well in the points, 14th in the standings. Pontzer came into this race 9th in points. There's going to be a very select few drivers that are going to finish here this evening with a good run that came in running well in the point standings. I can guarantee you that. I mean, we've got, as I'm looking right now, I think just about every driver, with maybe the possible exception of J Shelly, has been involved in something here this evening at Richmond. And this is the final blow, the final caution of the evening. And it's taken out 2 more drivers that were inside of the top 15 in the points. White flag was just displayed over the hood of the Coca-Cola Firehouse Chevy Camaro of Daniel Voyles. Voyles will jump up into the top 10 in the points, and he will also pick up his first win of the season here tonight at Richmond. It all comes down to timing sometimes in these races, and Voyles timed the move for the win perfectly, got the caution when he needed it, and he will reap the rewards. First win of his Pizza Hut X Series career comes here tonight at Richmond. Daniel Voyles is your winner, and you look back at Daniel Voyles, I mean, he ran full-time in the Hershey's Cup Series for a couple of seasons, never found victory lane, decided, you know what, I'm going to go full-time down to the Pizza Hut X Series, see what I can do there. I think that was a very good choice, as he's going to take his first checkered flag of the season here in the Pizza Hut X Series. What a way to cap off the first half of the regular season for the 26 team. Standings should be official now. And indeed they are. Kyle Thomas, heartbreak there, as he'll get his best finish of the season, though, in second place. Jonathan Zoerlein will finish in third. I'll be watching for Zoerlein in the main event tonight, or tomorrow night, in the Hershey's Cup Series. He qualified into that, had a good run last night, has a good run here tonight. I think he likes Richmond. Cole Deaver, he'll get fourth. J Romero in fifth. Nick Johnson, Ryan Brommer, J Shelly, like I said, the only driver in the top 10 tonight that really had a good run. PJ Williams in ninth, and I guess you could add Nicholas Romero into that list as well. Nicholas came into this race 11th in the point standings. He gets a top 10 tonight, so it looks like Shelly and Nicholas Romero will reap the benefits of good runs here this evening. But the other drivers that I mentioned that came in top 10 in the points, look where they finished. Jesse Turner came in the points leader, gets 23rd in the finishing results. You got to go all the way down, and then you find Tony Green. He came into this race 10th in points. He finishes in the 31st position, last car on the lead lap. Benny Watson came in this race 3rd in points, 29th. Eli Bright came in 6th in points. He finished a lap down in 32nd. Noah Pontzer, he was 9th in points. He finishes out of the race in 33rd. Kyle Lynch was 14th in points. He's out of the race in 34th. Elijah Gilbert came in 2nd in the standings. He's out of the race in 36th. Ace Garcia, last week's winner, was up to 7th in the points, I should say, coming into this race. 40th this evening in DNF. Christian Merrick Jr. DNFs in 41st, was 5th coming in the points. And Jordan Lopes came into this race 8th in points, never even got to take the green flag. Will finish the day out in the 42nd position. So like I said, the only two drivers that really came into this race with, running well in the point stands that are going to have good evenings. And I guess you could add a third in Daniel Voyles with his win, because he came into this race 13th in points. It's going to be Voyles, Shelly, and Nicholas Romero that really are leaving with good finishes here tonight that they'll be able to carry on into the second half of the regular season. So it's definitely going to shake the point standings up. There's no doubt about that. I don't think James Shelley's going to take the points lead, but I'm not exactly certain who's going to be the points leader. I don't know if Jesse Turner's still going to hang on to the points lead or not. We'll have to see. Shelley, I think, finished in the top 10 in all 3 stages, so maybe those bonus points will help him to get the points lead. We'll have to see. I'll find out the same time that you do. But how about the announcement tomorrow night? 60 laps in the Hershey's Cup Series main event. It was originally going to be 40. It's now 60, and we're running them all without a caution flag. We will not have cautions tomorrow night. That is going to be crazy. It's going to be like a demolition derby. I can't wait. Maybe that's a little bit sadistic of me, but I think it's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in that one. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race, though. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. Here are your point standings heading into our next race of the season, which will take place in 2 weeks. Pizza Hut X Series taking off week next week, as Hershey's Cup Series All-Star Race Weekend at Charlotte will be taking place. And then I believe it's Charlotte where the next race will take place, the next points-paying race for these Pizza Hut X Series drivers. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow night as we cap off our Richmond race weekend, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.